Hello. Alright, so for the first weekly question, when it comes to inclusion, how should general educators be prepared? This question kind of reminded me of a research paper I wrote back in high school, and about the problems with special education. And this was kind of a topic that was brought up, or I read about, and how just general educators just don't know how to handle those kind of kids. But what I would think is that I believe the main ways educators can best prepare is either through good communication with the special educator, just knowing what's wrong, what specifically should I, pay attention to with the child, or maybe specifically, maybe make sure I include in their lecture or anything like that. But also, I think a really big way that they could be better prepared is through training. Like, they should be included in training sessions with, like, just as much as the special educator, because in the end, when they do get a child who does have a disability or anything like that, like, they need to be prepared and know how to handle them. And because it's not their fault. Sometimes they get mad when they get a kid with special needs because they don't know, they get frustrated, but it's because they don't know how to handle it. So if they were included in training, they would be better prepared for sure. The second question, my thoughts on inclusion. I believe inclusion, like the method of inclusion, is very effective. Whether I prefer full or partial depends completely on the child and their disability. I definitely had classes in high school in a normal class setting, where I had children with specific disabilities, but because they could handle it. But there was definitely some children that I believe probably could have done better in um, a different environment, like a special education classroom. So it just depends completely on the child, and what kind of level they're at. But I do agree with inclusion, in that if they can be in a classroom, they should. But if they shouldn't and are better in a special education classroom, then they should be there too. And the last question, when you think about differentiation instruction, what challenges might a general educator face? And the two, I think, general educators have challenges I have when it comes to differentiation in instruction is time. Like, just trying to find time to be able to differentiate the instruction between all those students, because everybody's at a different level. And just to differentiate that would take a lot of time and a lot of effort for the general educators. But I know in the end it is worth it, but at the end, but also, I mean, that's a lot of time taken away from their day and their personal time. But another challenge would also be making sure it's differentiated appropriately. Like, yes, you might have some higher learning level thinkers in your classroom, but you also don't want to make it impossible for them. Or maybe you have some who are just very struggling, and you also don't want to make it too easy for them. And like, it could go either way. You don't want to give it too easy for those who are higher thinking, but you also don't want to make it too challenging for those who are maybe at a lower thinking level. So that's my responses. Thank you.